Hi, I'm Chris Krimitsos from Live Event Profits. Today I'm going to talk about booking celebrity speakers. So I want to clarify what we mean by celebrity speakers. There's people that literally make a full-time living speaking, so they get speaking fees. There's celebrities, people within your niche that maybe have gotten a lot of PR, that might do a speaking gig or two, but they have a business that fuels everything that they do. And then you might have an author or two that goes on tour and they're speaking. So I want to be very clear on this. When I first started out early on in my promotions career, putting on live events, I was able to spot trends of people that were about to be really big. One of the earliest people I spotted early on was a young man that had a blog called Wine Library TV. And we basically got him to speak. His name was Gary Vaynerchuk. He is now known as the entrepreneur's entrepreneur. But at the time, he was actually known as the Wine Library guy, and he had just written a book called Crush It, which was the book that kind of opened up the social media methodology for business. But at that moment in time, when he was not yet known as a national entity, he was just barnstorming the country, I was able to buy 400 books at about $10 a piece to get him to speak. To get Gary now, it's a six-figure sum, so you're not going to get a lot of leverage on negotiating him because he is one of the top speakers in the country. But what you can do is find speakers that are just underneath that level. You could find speakers for $35,000 or $40,000 as a speaking fee, and depending on your cause, your association, your charter as an organization, what I usually recommend is you write a one page of what an email of what your conference is about, how it contributes to the community, why it would benefit them to speak in front of your crowd, what the synergies are for them in their books or their further speaking career, and then you would offer something. So let's say you have a top-level speaker, they get paid $35,000, that's what their rate is, but you know you have a good cause, you know you have a good thing. It's not unusual to offer maybe $15,000 or $10,000 and them accepting, especially if you have a big enough audience. So don't be afraid of offering where you're more comfortable with your budget and then allowing that person to come back to you and letting you know kind of what they're comfortable with. The other thing I like to do is cap speaker expenses. In other words, if a speaker travels in, I like putting a flat fee for air and room. So the room, obviously, you would be booking as the conference organizer because usually you have a room block for your conference. You would just add it to your room block. But for the airfare, I would put a cap on it. Usually I limit at $500 round trip. The only reason I've done this early on in my career, a lot of presenters, if you don't negotiate this, they'll go first class. And that's okay, but when they buy their tickets, some of these presenters will buy their first class tickets last minute. So instead of costing you $1,500, that same ticket could cost you $3,000. So when you're watching your budget, that could be something you want to really take care of. Now I want to talk about the minor celebrities. Celebrities within a niche. So those celebrities tend not to have really big speaking fees, and they tend not to speak as often as a bigger celebrity. Those individuals, many times, you could offer to pay for their airfare or their hotel room, not always both, and a speaking fee, and a speaking spot for them to be at your conference, and they'll accept. If they come back at you and say, listen, can you cover my hotel room? Depending on how important that person is to your promotion, I would then say, absolutely, we'll cover your airfare and your hotel room, but it's a flat fee, this is what we have, and this is what we can do, there is no extra monies. You want to make that really clear that this is the budget, because it's a speaker's job to always ask you for more. And as a promoter, you really want to draw a line that you're comfortable with and the other people are comfortable with. Now, when you're promoting your conference, you really want to understand your speakers are really important, but you'd be surprised that some of the biggest celebrity name speakers will not pull as many attendees as people within your niche that people know. And the reason is they feel that, you know, the person in your niche that's successful is more attainable and more relatable, and they could network with that person. The celebrity speakers, it's cool and fun, and it's a great keynote, but it doesn't have a lasting impact on your community because usually that person is in and they fly right out. Now, another way you could offset your costs is when you get a big celebrity speaker for $15,000 or $20,000, negotiate that they do a private luncheon or what I call Ask Them Anything session for 12 of your VIPs before they go on stage. This will allow you then to sell private VIP access to that speaker for $500 a ticket, $1,000 a ticket, depending how sought after. I've seen people sell up to $10,000, $15,000 for dinner with the speaker afterwards. But that many times will defer a lot of the cost for you for bringing in that speaker. And believe it or not, you might get a sponsor or two that'll sponsor that speaker just to have a private session with them prior to them presenting. So there's a lot of ways to leverage a speaker and leverage the dollar amount that you're investing in that speaker. Now, by and large, I don't like to pay for a lot of speakers because that'll throw off your expenses usually. You want to stay within your budget, and you want to find a lot of really great subject matter experts that you could bring to your conference that'll add value and that'll stay for the duration of the conference. It just adds a lot of value to it. Now, your attendees show up for the education, but always remember, they come back for the community and the camaraderie year after year. Anyways, that's some quick tips on dealing and negotiating with speakers. If you need any further help, my contact is in the description below, but I'm Chris Krimitsos signing over and out for Live Event Profits.